Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome for the first time. Today we're going to do another food recipe and we're going to fuse a beef chili with Lapsang black tea. I haven't tried this, so this is going to be a journey together, but I feel like it's going to give the chili a really good smoky full body feel. So let's try this. If it's delicious, I'll post it. If it's not, you'll never see this. All right. Let's get started. So for our base, we're just going to use a good quality lean. I've got a semi-low fat beef mince, and we're also going to use 2 tins of chopped tomatoes. So I've just put my slow cooker on for high. I'm going to do it on high for maybe 4 hours and then maybe do it low for a little bit longer, see how thick it gets at the end. Then I'm just going to mix all this up and I'll leave this on while I prepare everything else. Now I would just like to say this is my take on a chili. I know this isn't a traditional chili. Myself and Ben don't actually like following strict recipes very much, which is funny, me making a recipe video. But I want you to take this as like an interpretation and you to interpret it how you want. So I'm going to put things in maybe that I wouldn't have normally. Maybe I would have done more normally, but it's what's in my fridge and what I fancy at the time. So if this all does taste delicious, I will put exactly what I did use and I'll tell you what I use as I go along. But it's an interpretation, so if you don't like something, leave it out. So to our main base, I am going to pop in 1 tin of red kidney beans that I've already drained, 1 green and 1 red bell pepper. Also going to put in 4 cloves of garlic, just kind of chopped. Mushrooms, because they're in my fridge and I think they're going off a little bit. And half of a large red onion. I would usually do a whole onion, but this is what we had left in the fridge as it was very large from our dinner last night. I'm just going to give that a good mix. And you can see, I can see, there's not much liquid in this at the moment, which is where we're gonna put in our Lapsang in a second. So I'm just gonna fill up the kettle with water. Personally, I use Kangen water, but tap water is fine. So if you do also have an Enagic machine, then I'm gonna use water at pH 9. And I'm just going to stick the kettle on to boil. So there's so many different varieties on the traditional Lapsang. I have 2 in my collection. I am currently drinking a cup of the Bird and Land Lapsang Bang because I wanted to see which I thought would be best in this recipe. The Lapsang Bang has chili in it already, which is why I thought maybe, but I think actually for this recipe, I am just going to use a plain Lapsang. So I'm going to use the High Tea London Formosa Lapsang Crocodile. And because I want it to have a real good smoky feel, I am going to put, I'm going to use 5 scoops for 900 milliliters of water. You may also notice that I'm not going to use an infuser. That's because the more room a tea has to move about, the more it can steep and release the flavour. If you put it in a very small infuser, then it won't bring out the flavour as much as if, oh, that is actually most of my Lapsang. And then I'm just going to add 900 milliliters of water. I take that back entirely. I'm going to use 450 milliliters of water, half a litre. I just completely read my jug wrong. But you can see because it's got so much room to move, it is like dancing in there, and that's going to give you so much more flavour. And I'm going to steep that for 2 minutes, strain it, and then add our beef stock cubes. So our 2-minute timer has just gone off, and I'm going to strain our Lapsang into another jug, can't think of a better word, which has got our 2 beef stock cubes into it, and then I'll add some more water to make it up to the 900. And I'm actually going to add the extra water into this and just kind of do a quick second steep. And I'll just leave that on for another 2 minutes. Some people might not know that you can re-steep your tea leaves, but look, this is the second steep and the colour is lighter. It looks a lot lighter on camera than it does in person, but you're still getting a lot of the good flavours from the second steep. So instead of just adding plain water and diluting what we already made, I'm just going to re-steep this, and then it's going to add again to the smokiness and the depth of the flavour. So I just strained our second steep of this Lapsang off camera. This is now our full 900 millilitres of stock. I'm just going to add this in. As you can see, the stock cubes didn't actually dissolve into that. You do need to mix up them, but that's fine. Once we put it in here and we mix everything up, they will dissolve as we're cooking. So I'm just going to give this a good stir now. And it smells incredible. It already does have a much different smell than usual, and it's smoky. It's like a barbecue, but still having some of the traditional smells of a chili. Now, some other things that I like to add to a chili is just some tomato paste. Just a good old chunk of that to thicken it up a bit. I don't use too much because I already used the chopped tomatoes. This is something new to me. I'm going to try putting in some whole grain mustard. I'm just going to put a teaspoon of this. I think it might enhance the smoky flavours. And for my palate, I really like spicy food. So we're going to add in some sliced jalapenos as well. So I'm just going to add in a good helping of these. But you would change this to your spice levels. If you really like spice, you'd maybe add more. If you don't like spice, then just don't add any. And again, I'm going to mix that up. And again, this is something you would tailor to your preferences, but I'm just going to pick some of these up. So I am going to use the Chipotle chili flakes to add with the smokiness. I'm also going to put in, there it is, cayenne pepper. I'm definitely going to pick some paprika, a couple whole bird eye chilies for me because I really like spice, and I think that's it for me today. So I'm now just going to add in all of those spices, and I really don't do measurements. This is one of those things that I would say by your interpretation and your taste buds. So I'll tell you what I've used, but I can't tell you quantities. I'm just going to eyeball it. So I'm going to use quite a lot of the cayenne pepper. If I can get it out. There we go. I'm going to use a generous splash of the Chipotle chilies, just because I really do want this to have a smoky taste. We're not going to go too heavy on the whole bird chilies, because I say we're not going to go too heavy. That was quite a lot. And the paprika. I would use smoked paprika if I have it, but I've run out at the moment. Oh crap, that is not how much I plan to use. You can't see how much that was. That was a whole bunch. I'm going to use black pepper. And as I said, I really like spice, so I'm going to use some of this green jalapeno sauce. I think this goes well with everything. I cannot fault it. I am in love with this particular sauce. I do like other habanero sauces, but it's this particular make. Oh, love their sauces. And again, we're just going to mix that all up. You might be saying, wow, Sam, that's really, really watery. You overdid it with the stock. And you might be right, but we're also going to leave this on for a really long time. So, again, I said it before, but I'm going to say it again, it smells incredible. I'm now going to leave that on high for 4 hours, and I will check back in with you at that time. So it is now 3:15, so at 7:15ish I'll come and we'll see whether we want to turn that down to a low or we want to keep it at its current temperature for a little bit longer. It is now much later in the day. It's actually 8:15, so I left this for 5 hours. I stirred it occasionally, but I tried to keep the lid on as much as I could. So I will flip you around and we'll see what it looks like now. So prepare, there might be a steam cloud coming our way. There we go. So you can see it's got quite a lot of film on the top, but we'll stir that in. It is still very liquidy. But I'm actually going to cook this for a little longer with the lid off and try and simmer down some of those juices. Wow. You really can get the smokiness. This is so smoky, but I do feel like it's missing something. I think it needs a touch more garlic, but I can't be bothered to chop any more garlic up, so I'm just going to use some garlic granules, maybe a touch more of the cayenne pepper. I'm going to do a few drops of the habanero Tabasco sauce, and I think that will balance out a bit more, because I want to be able to taste the smokiness of the lapsang, but I want it to balance well with the other flavours that I've put in there. I'm also going to put in a couple of drops of Worcestershire sauce. So I literally just put 4 drops of that in there. I'll stir that up, and I think I'm going to leave that with the lid off for maybe 20 minutes, see if that thickens up a little bit. So it is now so much later. It is 5 to 10, and I really want this to simmer down and thicken up, so I have taken everything out of my slow cooker, and we are now in a pot. Well, it's actually a wok. We're in this, and we're on a medium to high heat, and we're gonna try to really reduce all of those juices and make it nice and thick and yummy like that. I feel like I'm brewing some sort of witch's, I don't know, evilness. But if you had smell-o-vision, it definitely smells special. And when I tasted it earlier, you do get the smoky tea flavours.
It's quite hot though. And it's spicy. Spicy, slight smokiness. I'm not going to say it's over crazy.
But I didn't want it to be. The intention was never to make it overly crazy, oh, it tastes like tea. It was just to add some depth to the flavours. And as I said earlier, like, we really like spicy food, which is why I put a lot of spices in it. If you don't like spicy food, you just completely cut all of that out, and you'll probably taste even more of the smokiness.
You definitely, the spiciness definitely cancels the smokiness down.
I think it enhances, like, the smokiness enhances the taste of the entire chili.
Yeah, you can really taste it like.
Because we always have it spicy, but this definitely has an enhanced flavour to what we usually have. No?
It's just fucking tasty.
And that is our finished dish. Rice, chilli, a bit of cheese and pepper on the top. And I'm really happy with that. Verdict was that you can't specifically taste the lapsang. You couldn't eat this and go, oh, you've put tea in it. But it definitely added a depth that our usual chili doesn't have. So I would recommend this, and I will be posting the video. It was delicious. Like, it was seriously good. I will list below everything that I put in if you want to copy it exactly, or if you want to make adjustments, you knew what I did use. And I hope you liked this. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Please consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. All right.